failed all your weight loss attempts so far. What do you think will be different this time? Nothing. The thing is,
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Today, we are going to be talking again about our co-host, Amberlynn Reed. I am also recording this live, so if things are a little bit different, that's why. So to all my people that are here live, hi, it's so good to have you here. So we're going to be basically going over an Amberlynn video that was just uploaded. And normally, with the videos that I record, I try to watch the videos beforehand and kind of have ideas before I get straight into the video. But I'm actually going to be going back home to San Diego to visit family. There's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. And so I need to get a couple videos recorded beforehand. And so this is just, if I'm being honest, this is a little bit easier to do. So we're going to be live basically reacting to the most recent Amberlynn Reed video. Before we get any further into the video, I just wanted to say that we have merch now, and I'm super excited about how it all turned out. So as you can see here, this is, a lot of it is very metal inspired, which is music that I like to listen to. But this t-shirt is the Girl World faded t-shirt. And we also have one that's not a faded t-shirt that's going to have a couple different colors that you can choose from. We have an Obese to Beast hat, Obese to Beast shirts, Obese to Beast hoodie, as well as a Dunch Bros t-shirt, which if you know, you might not know exactly what this is in reference to. But if you want to check out any of the merch, there will be a link in the description. It really does help out a lot. And it means a lot that you guys are enjoying the stuff that I made, because I did make a lot of this stuff. Rachel helped with the Dunch Bros shirt, but I was able to make this myself, which I'm really, really happy with. But yeah, I'm super stoked with it. I hope you guys check it out and you enjoy it, but let's get back to the video. And that video is this one right here, which is right here on the top. I am not going on a diet, weigh-in episode 1. For those of you that aren't familiar, Amberlynn recently started a new schedule on YouTube where she is uploading every so often, but on Wednesdays, which is the day that I'm recording this, it is a weigh-in Wednesday. And so what we are going to find out is what these weigh-in Wednesdays are going to be looking like and what the plan is for those, right? And so without further ado, let's see what Amberlynn has to say about this new schedule. All right. Again, the title of the video is I'm Not Going on a Diet, weigh-in episode 1. Alrighty, so let's see what's poppin'.
hey guys, so today is March 25th. Today is the first weigh-in in my new YouTube schedule. So my weigh-in videos are going to consist of me weighing in on Tuesday and you guys seeing it on Wednesday. I'm going to be talking or answering 5 different questions or topics that you guys asked me, which is all weight, body, food related. And then I'm going to talk about how the week went, do my weigh-in, of course, and then I'm going to create some goals for myself that I want during that week. And then we're going to talk about if I did them or if I didn't. So first question / topic is, would you try semaglutide again?
Okay, so before we get into the semaglutide stuff, so it seems that we are caught up basically, right, on the videos, because apparently previously the videos were kind of like 2 weeks apart. We talked about that before, and then she ended up going on a break because of a lot of stuff that is going on in the Amberlynn verse that we talked about in the last video, right? And so we are going to now we are caught up, right? And so now we are doing a new diet, and I guess we're answering questions based on, I don't know who's asking these questions, but that's what's going on now.
So I've tried semaglutide twice, Ozempic once. And normally when someone asks me this question, it's a flat out, yes, I absolutely would. But now it's a no. I never will do semaglutide again. So semaglutide is not even FDA approved. I always ignored that little tiny tidbit because in my brain, I was like, okay, if it's coming from pharmacies, and obviously the pharmacies know what they're talking about. But the more that people are using semaglutide, obviously the more that people are learning about semaglutide, and something that is like coming up a lot. Like I've seen articles about it. Like you guys have sent me articles. There's a lot of semaglutide like coming from the black market. People are getting extremely...
Okay, so this is interesting because this isn't something I necessarily disagree with her on, as far as there is some shady stuff going on with semaglutide, right? We've talked about this before with the compounded stuff, the stuff that you can literally go into like a, you know, one of those beauty shops where they do like literally like basically like Botox for your face and like B12 shots, and you can also get a semaglutide shot, like, yeah, a med spa. I would not go there, right? But like if you're getting it from your doctor, you're getting it prescribed, if you're getting actual Ozempic, right? If you're getting the name brand stuff, that stuff is legit, right? But there have been people that have been, saying that, going on semaglutide or these GLP-1 medications, they cause bone damage or they cause muscle loss. And I think a big problem with these medications is that a lot of people are losing weight rapidly and they're not even really trying, and losing weight rapidly, even if you're not on a semaglutide or a GLP-1 medication, can be very damaging to your body. This is why I talk a lot about trying to make, the right decisions when you're losing weight, not trying to go on a crash diet, all of that stuff, because this is stuff you have to worry about even if you're not taking one of these medications. Now, I think that these medications, there's risks involved, of course, but I think you have to weigh it versus the risks of being the size that you are currently, right? And I think with Amberlynn, there are a lot of risks that are going on there that she could, I think that like weighing them against each other, I think it would be worth giving it a shot again, but giving it a real shot, right? Because we've seen the Amberlynn saga of the GLP-1s, and it seems like every time it hasn't really been really adhered to. But I can't say that that's anything new. That's kind of that's the standard with Amberlynn, is that this stuff, it doesn't ended up getting adhered to. And so I can't say that I'm super surprised with that. But that's just, again, my thoughts on that.
Sick, people are getting scammed. And no matter where I get it from, it's just like, you never know what you're gonna get. So semaglutide is a no. But would I try Ozempic again, which is FDA approved? Yes. But it's like thousands and thousands of dollars a month, especially when...
That's so... Okay, so, I mean, maybe I should have listened to a little bit more, but like, it's interesting. So I guess maybe she's saying like compounded semaglutide you wouldn't try again, which I fully agree with that. I don't know if maybe I don't really understand that there's a difference, but I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know, at least how people use the terms, semaglutide and GLP-1 medications are kind of used interchangeably, and they all kind of mean the same thing. So maybe she's talking about compounded semaglutide where you'd get from like a random med spa she wouldn't want to try again, which I don't really disagree with. But it's just weird because all of the things that people are saying about semaglutides and the problems, they're saying that that's a blanket statement again about all of them, right? Like all of the semaglutides, all of the GLP-1 medications do this, this, and this, the things that she brought up. And so it's weird that she is kind of like saying, oh, these ones do that, but this one that is Ozempic or whatever terms, whatever name brand she wants to use doesn't, because from what I understand, what everyone's saying is the risks that you take are pretty much the same, right? And so maybe she's not informed, maybe I'm not informed. I don't fully understand, but yeah.
You get to like the highest dose. So once that price is lowered, then we'll talk. What is your ideal goal weight? So I actually do not have one at all. So I know it seems kind of like contradictory because these are weigh-in videos, but I don't have a goal weight. I don't.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. Like at the point where Amberlynn is, there's really no reason to focus on a goal weight or anything like that. I think that it is, completely fine to not be super stressed about that.
Care about the number on the scale. I care about how I feel. I want my health to improve. I want my breathing to improve. I want my walking to improve. I just want my heart health to improve. Just all of my like physical ailments and my mental ailments that are affected by my weight. I want all of those things to improve. Why don't you just go on
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that.
hiatus and come back with the weight off? Because I need to show up. This is my job and it's very, very important to me. It gives me something to do during the day. It gives me some form of normalcy and routine. I need this roof over my head. I need to be able to put food in my fur baby's stomachs. Not many people can just disappear for months on end from their job, and that also includes me. And I thoroughly enjoy YouTube, so I wouldn't want to leave. Why did you hide your...
Yeah, I mean, and that's that's where it comes down to. I think a lot of the other stuff is a little bit of fluff, if I'm being honest and respectfully. Like, it is what it is. I'm a YouTuber as well, right? I want to be able to take months off of making videos and just be okay. You know, I would love to be able to do that. You know, I'm sure anyone would love to be able to just take time off their work. But that's the problem, right? And this is what I've talked about so much on the channel, is that when your brand becomes, I'm going to lose weight, and you struggle to do that, but that's the thing that has been paying your bills, everything gets weird, right? It's like everything, even it gets weird. Losing weight is already hard enough, right? And when you add the fact that you have people that are going to be looking at everything that you're doing on top of that, it makes it even harder. And then obviously with Amberlynn, like there's there's so much more than just the weight loss stuff. But obviously that's what I try and focus on. But with all of that comes its own stuff. So it's like, I just don't think that she would ever be able to do that, especially because like with Nick, right? I mean, I think that's what a lot of people kind of mention. With Nick Ocado, he was able to do that because he was like, the amount of money he made on YouTube for such a long period of time, he was able to do that, but he was still uploading these videos, right? I don't think that Amberlynn would be able to do what Nick did. Like, I just don't think that that's possible. I think that trying to like compare the two is ridiculous. But I mean, at the end of the day, I just don't see that happening, right? I don't think she'd be able to take that much time off at all, for sure.
Weight from Beck. So that's something else that Beck has said, that supposedly I started hiding my weight from them. That never happened. I have been very open and honest about my weight towards the whole internet. I've always done weigh-ins for you guys, and I mean, that goes the same with the people in my life. I've always been very vocal about how much I weigh. I've never really been like ashamed of my weigh-ins, because it's like when you look at me, you know, you're like, damn, that girl big. I think it was just Beck being super uninterested and just like really genuinely they didn't care about anything I was saying or doing. So that also went into my weigh-ins. You failed all your weight
I don't really have anything to say there, to be honest with you.
loss attempts so far. What do you think will be different this time? Nothing. The thing is, you guys have witnessed me failing.
Wait, I'm sorry. I want to listen to that one more time. Oh my God.
The thing is, you guys have witnessed me failing all of your weight loss attempts so far. What do you think will be different this time? Nothing. The thing is,
oh man, that's awesome, dude. I love that. I don't even know what to say. That's so funny to me. Nothing. Next question. I wish you just didn't even elaborate and just stop there. Nothing. So, next question.
is you guys have witnessed me failing all of these diets and fad diets and whatever it may be. But one thing about me is I've never given up. And I feel like a lot of people have experienced the same thing. They have literally yo-yo dieted their whole life. The only difference is theirs isn't documented publicly, while mine is. And all these people who finally become successful in losing their weight and reaching their goal, that's after multiple attempts.
So true, but also not exactly. Like, I think we're I think I'm still laughing about the nothing thing. We're at a point now where like we're in like this is strange territory. Like, we're at a point where like, there ain't many people that have been in this position, right? That Amberlynn is in. I think that that's what is so interesting to so many people, right? We have literally hundreds of people here right now watching me record this live. It's a very interesting situation where Amberlynn finds herself in. And I think it's fascinating to a lot of people because, yeah, you know, people, you know, there's been a lot of people that have tried to lose weight many times, and then they end up, you know, they're able to find the thing that works for them. But I think the problem with Amberlynn and like the issue here is that it feels like there is zero follow through on any of these diets. Like, I mean, like we talked about a video where she uploaded herself that she was going to do this 10-day diet. And in the video that she announced the 10-day diet, she announced that she was quitting the 10-day diet. You know, so it's like, there has to be a little bit of follow through on these these things that you end up trying to do. And you can't just expect something to come along and solve it all, right? Like you have to just be like, I am going to push through when it starts to get hard. Amberlynn, I think, is addicted to that feeling of excitement that you have when you even though you don't even have to announce it, right? You can just think in your head, I am going to do a new diet. And it's exciting. You get that dopamine. You start to be excited. You're like, oh man, I'm going to make all these plans. We know Amberlynn loves to plan. We've seen all the planners, right? That's what she is addicted to. But the follow through is non-existent, right? And that's what we need to work on. That's the most important thing, right?
Whether it's been 100 attempts or 2 attempts, it doesn't matter. Something finally clicks. Every time I go into a new section of my weight loss journey, God, I hate that word, journey. Every time I go into it again, I'm always very hopeful in hopes that something will click. It kind of reminds me of my mom's journey with her sobriety. She did drugs literally her whole life, and I can't even tell you how many times in my lifetime she tried to quit and just couldn't, until she finally did, because something just clicked. All right, so we are done with...
Okay, so yes, I understand that, because I mean, I've mentioned the click moment many times for me when I actually lost weight, but it's there's that moment, but then you have to work on things after that moment goes, because that moment does go, right? And there's going to be times when you mess up. There's going to be times when you don't do exactly the right things. There's going to be times when all of that stuff. One of my favorite analogies, I've used this with pretty much all of my clients that I work with my nutrition coaching, is the idea of the wagon, right? We talk all about oh, I fell off the wagon. I fell off the wagon. So you are the one that is driving the wagon, okay? So you're on the wagon, you're driving the wagon, you hit a rock, right? You end up eating, you have a bad night, right? You end up eating a ton of food and you fall off the wagon, you get thrown off the wagon. And you're like, oh my God, I fell off the wagon. And then you start sprinting backwards, right? You just start sprinting back where you came from. Oh no, I fell off the wagon, I fell off the wagon. And you look back, the wagon's 2 miles back because you've just been running, right? But the fact of the matter is, instead of doing that, what you can do, fall off the wagon, you look back on the wagon, you look back at it, and you think, okay, let me get back on the wagon. It's not leaving. You're the one that's driving. Get back on and continue going. You don't want to fall off the wagon and then be like, I got to get out of here. I'm running the other way. If you do that, you are not going to you're not going to see the results that you want. You have to be able to push through that adversity. You have to be able to push through those challenging things. That's what needs to be worked on, right? That's what needs to be worked on, not starting. Amberlynn, respectfully, the most respectful I can say this, and I mean that, you're very good at starting. You're very good at starting. The other parts leaves a little bit to be desired. There's some work that we can do there. But you are very good at starting. Now let's work on the other stuff, right? Let's work on the other stuff.
The topics/questions. Now on to how I've been doing, how have I been eating lately? Well, I've been eating what I want, when I want, and how much I want, because I have been so hyper-focused.
Well, so we haven't started yet. I mean, what even is the point of this? This is so funny, dude. This is hilarious. This is so good.
On trying to improve my mental health, because it has not been good at all. That I have genuinely been neglecting my physical health needs. So now I need to make both of those things a priority, because my mental health was low and I'm doing a lot better now, thankfully. But I was trying to put in work to improve that because it was so bad. I don't think my mental health has been that bad in a very, very long time. Now I want to put in work so I can focus on my mental health and my physical health. Genuinely, this is going to be called the no diet, because every single time that I have done a diet, I have failed.
So I figured that was going to be the gist of this, right? I'm not going on a diet. I figured that would be the gist, right? I'm going to do a non-diet diet, which I think in and of itself, that's not a bad thing. But I think where Amberlynn is now, there is I think I don't want to get in trouble here, but I think like it's good to want to focus on not having strict rules and like allowing yourself to have whatever. But at the same time, I think it's okay for a season to be like, hey, this thing, I need to stop doing that. Right. And that, I think for Amberlynn, one of those things could be, I think chat can figure it out, right? Ordering food, getting DoorDash, having that stuff delivered, right? That can be the thing that you're like, you know what? For a season of my life, I think personally it's fine to never do it again because it wasn't available until very recently. So it's not like you're going to starve, but like make that a rule, right? We're so focused on like, I want to be able to do whatever I want and not set rules and not have these limitations because I don't want it, which again, in theory is a good thing to be able to do. It's in theory, it's a good thing to be able to have a little bit of this and not restrict yourself and like, but in reality, is that something that is possible right now? And if the answer is no, it's okay to tell yourself, hey, I am going to, for a season of my life, it can be 2 months, 3 months, 1 month, 2 weeks, whatever it is, right? I am not going to order that thing. I am not going to use this app. I think that that's okay to set that rule, right, for yourself.
What I want to do is just genuinely think before I eat anything instead of just eating it for no reason, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put my weigh-in here, March 25th, 2025.
Hello, it's ready. 519.8 pounds.
519.8 is
519.8. I think she's been higher, right? But that's,
a little hecticana, I will say. On top of me eating more than I probably should, I also am very swollen. So you definitely need to take that into account because not only do I have lymphedema.
Why do you do this to yourself, man? Like, do you really need to mention it? Do you really need to mention it? Like, you're just going to get comments talking about that. You know what I mean? Like,
I also have lipedema. So weigh-ins can be a little tricky because obviously when
I feel like she knows because the way that her face is when she's talking in this section, like she's like, I know this is BS and I know that other people know that this is BS, but it's almost like I have to say it at this point. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading it wrong.
You're also weighing my fluid and my water retention. So I want to have weekly goals. I want to have something that is like obtainable that I can work on every single day. So then next week I can come back and be like, okay, so these were my goals and let me tell you how I did. So each week they will be different goals or maybe I will repeat one. It just depends. So for this week I have 2 goals. I went back on my Uber and I went and I saw in the last 7 days, how many times did I order takeout? So I'm taking that number.
Bro, I swear I have not seen this video. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. I promise I have not watched this. Wow, that's crazy.
And I'm going to drastically lower it, and that's going to be my goal. So when I went back and looked, it was 8 times in the last 7 days. So
that's wild, bro. 8 times in the past 7. That's that averages more than 1 time a day.
Hard as it is going to be, I only want to order it 3 times. So for some people, 3 times in a week is a lot. But for me...
No, for everyone, that's a lot. That's expensive, man. That's wasting so much money. I always use this example, right? When I order Chipotle, if I go by myself, right, I like to get double meat because I'm a big growing boy and I have to put in extra calories for my muscles, right? And so it ends up being like $15. If I Uber Eats it ends up being $30. It costs twice as much to get it delivered. Like, it just is such a waste of money, dude.
It's not. It's actually drastically lowered because I was actually surprised to only see that I ordered takeout 8 times in the last week because normally it probably would have been about like 13. So
I don't even know what to say to that. That is astonishing. That's astonishing.
My next goal is I want to focus on drinking more water. So I thought about the last week and I was like, how much water did I drink? And now how much do I want to drink? Well, in the last week, the only time that I drank water was during my live streams when I was drinking a little bit of alcohol. I know I'm supposed to only be referring to the last week, but I'm telling you, In the last like 6 months, I've probably only had about 2 cups of water in total.
Are you for real? That what? Why would no? That's crazy. Yeah, you need to drink more water. 100%. Bro, and like I'm not even a water snob. If you want to put water and then put some water flavoring in it, do that at least. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I do not drink water, period. I go through phases where I drink water, and we have not been in that phase. Not at all.
Okay, well, I understand you haven't been in that phase, but you are also a human being that that needs to drink water. That's crazy, dude.
All girly pops. So my goal is to go from only drinking a couple sips in the last week to drinking 2 water bottles a day.
It's crazy to me that in the past month, she has had more White Claws than water. Come on, man. We need to get the White Claw to water ratio flipped the other way, okay? Like, let's make sure that happens.
Again, I know for some people, only 2 water bottles a day is not enough. But for me, it's going to be a drastic improvement. So those are my 2 goals.
Hasn't she said in previous videos that she like just loves drinking water and she drinks water all the time? I swear I've heard that. Maybe I'm misremembering or something. So this week's goals: order takeout only 3 times, have 2 water bottles a day.
In my weigh-in next week, I'll let you guys know how I did. And then also the dreaded weigh-in, which I don't have any goals when it comes to my weigh-ins. I just want to, every single time I step on the scale, which is only going to be once a week, which is going to be hard for me, I want to be down at least something, even if it's 0.2 of a pound. This is my no diet. We're not running in this race. We're walking. Anyway.
All right. Well, that's the video. I don't know. I feel like I've kind of said everything. This video ended up being much longer than I had initially thought it was going to be. I ended up yapping a lot more than I had initially thought I would be. This was eye-opening. I am excited for the weekly weigh-ins if they actually continue. I think I will try to keep up with them as much as I can because, I mean, I feel like I've been blessed at this point with this content. I feel like it was made for me at some point. I don't know. Maybe that's mean to say, but we'll see. We'll see how far this goes. But if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for still being here. I really appreciate it. Any likes or comments, obviously, that all helps out the algorithm so much. And so I really appreciate it. But if you do want to check out, we do have the new merch that you can check out. We have the Dunch Bros as well as a new Girl World shirt. If you want to check that out for yourself, there will be a link in the description to check that out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.